David and Goliath, Faith Over Fear. Welcome to Daily Bible, your channel for exploring the most captivating stories and timeless lessons from Scripture. Today we're diving into the story of David and Goliath, one of the most iconic accounts in the Bible, found in 1 Samuel 17. This story is about courage, faith, and the incredible power of trusting in God. Join me as we journey to the Valley of Elah and witness how a young shepherd faced an unbeatable giant and emerged victorious. The story begins with a battle that wasn't just about armies, it was about faith. The Israelites, led by King Saul, were encamped on one hill, and the Philistines, their enemies, stood on another with a valley between them. But what made this battle extraordinary wasn't the armies. It was the giant who stepped forward from the Philistine camp. His name was Goliath, and he was no ordinary man. Standing over 9 feet tall, armed with a massive spear and shield, Goliath was a warrior who struck fear into everyone who saw him. Day after day, for 40 days, he challenged the Israelites. "Choose a man to fight me," he bellowed. "If he can defeat me, we will serve you. But if I defeat him, you will serve us." The Israelites were terrified. No one dared to face him, not even King Saul, who was a skilled warrior himself. Fear gripped the camp, and Goliath's taunts echoed across the valley, growing louder and more intimidating with each passing day. Then came David, a young shepherd from Bethlehem. He wasn't a soldier, he wasn't even there to fight. But when David arrived, he heard Goliath's mocking words, and something stirred within him. David couldn't understand why no one was standing up to this Philistine. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? He asked. To David, Goliath wasn't just mocking Israel, he was mocking God himself. Word of David's boldness quickly spread, and soon he was brought before King Saul. Saul was skeptical. David was young, inexperienced, and completely unarmed. But David wasn't discouraged. He told Saul about his experiences as a shepherd, how he had fought off lions and bears to protect his flock. "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine," David declared. Reluctantly, Saul agreed to let David fight. He even offered David his own armor, but the armor was too heavy and unfamiliar. Instead, David chose what he knew best, his sling and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. Armed with his faith in God and the tools of a shepherd, David stepped onto the battlefield to face the giant. Let's pause for a moment and think about the giants we face in our own lives, whether they're fears, doubts, or challenges that seem insurmountable. Like David, are we placing our trust in God to give us victory, or are we relying on our own strength? If this story is inspiring you so far, take a moment to subscribe to Daily Bible for more incredible journeys through Scripture. Let's continue exploring the lessons that strengthen our faith and give us courage. As David approached, Goliath was insulted. He looked at the young shepherd and laughed. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" he roared. But David didn't flinch. He replied with words that have inspired countless generations. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." With that, David ran toward Goliath. He reached into his pouch, pulled out a stone, and slung it with precision. The stone struck Goliath square in the forehead, and the giant fell to the ground lifeless. The Israelites watched in stunned silence as their young shepherd stood victorious over the Philistine champion. But David didn't stop there. He ran to Goliath, took the giant's own sword, and cut off his head. The Philistines, seeing their champion defeated, fled in fear, and the Israelites pursued them, claiming victory. The story of David and Goliath is more than just a tale of an underdog triumphing over impossible odds. It's a profound lesson about faith. David's confidence didn't come from his strength or skill, it came from his trust in God. He knew the battle wasn't his to win alone, it belonged to the Lord. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most powerful stories in the Bible. If this story has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Daily Bible for more amazing accounts and timeless lessons from Scripture. Together, let's face life's challenges with courage, faith, and the assurance that God is always with us.